Today, I want to give you 5 reasons why I think it's important for you to start your own garden. Yeah, they've started with mango trees. There's a couple thousand mango trees here that have been planted. They've been grafted. They're getting ready to go into the fields. These trees, in 6 to 8 years' time, will be providing enough mango to export into first world countries, creating income, jobs, you name it. But when it comes to our own personal well-being, I promise you're going to want to see this video. Coming up will be the 5 reasons I believe you need to start your own garden. Welcome. I'm Segal. My channel, Our Edible Garden. And this is a channel that my wife and I are going to slowly grow over time as we embark on a journey of creating our own garden. We are going to be developing a small plot and creating a vegetable garden and chickens maybe, and basically just simplifying things and trying to grow as much as we can that we can eat out of the garden. We'll never be completely self-sufficient. As one YouTuber out there, Mark from Self-Sufficient Me, his motto is don't try to be self-sufficient in everything, but be self-sufficient in something. So there are going to be seasons that you'll have excess of certain crops. Some seasons you won't have other crops and you'll have to go and buy from the supermarket. But the nature of this particular video is why I believe it's important that we start creating gardens, whether the gardens are large or small, urban gardens. There's tons and tons of video out on YouTube that you can go and search through and do research on how to garden in small spaces. Yeah. So anyway, let's get down to reason number 1. So the last 2 to 3 years, we've seen some strange things going on in the world. And one of them I've noticed just going through YouTube, following channels, is the prices of certain things. Eggs, for instance, at one stage. Eggs were skyrocketing in certain parts of the world. And yeah, eggs going up is one thing. It's not going to break the bank, I suppose, at the end of the day. But if you had a couple of chickens, you'd have fresh eggs. If they're free range, the eggs just taste nicer. You don't need a heck of a lot of chickens. Maybe 8 to 10 chickens will give you more than enough eggs. But on the subject of food security, our population around the world just isn't getting smaller, and there's this massive drive to try and bring down greenhouse gases, and farmers are taking strain. Diesel's getting expensive, fertilizer's getting expensive. So there's a movement to a slightly more sustainable gardening that one can do at home on a smaller scale. Feed yourself. Some people are able to even create a big enough garden that they can supply the small markets around them. But that being said, there are easy crops to grow out there. Potatoes. If you can grow potatoes, they store well. Sweet potatoes, they store well. Excellent nutrition. And yeah, you bag them, put them in a dark place somewhere, and you've got food. Anything goes wrong around us, who knows? We have food. Even if it is potatoes every day, at least it's something. Add a couple of easy growers like tomatoes, lettuce, things like that. It's not rocket science to grow these things, yet they can supplement a large quantity of what we spend at the supermarket. You save money just by doing that. Yeah. Number 2, health. 99% of the food you buy in a supermarket today has been, if not genetically modified, it has been either sprayed or they've done stuff to it to make it last, to make it handle the trip from the farm to the vegetable store, the supermarket, to make it last on the shelf before you come along and buy it. And a lot of that food is produced at a high rate, at a high speed, purely because there isn't a choice. We have to feed everybody. So, but there are health implications that come with that. So food that's grown organically, I'm not an organic person. I'm not mad about this whole organic story, but if you are growing in your own yard and you are doing it correctly, correct composting systems and correct crop rotation systems, it's naturally doing it organically. As long as you staying away from the fertilizers that are being pumped out in the market. There are alternatives to these chemical fertilizers, and the food just tastes great. I mean, I grew lettuce towards the end of last year. I grew a couple of heads of lettuce, or a couple of plants of lettuce, various varieties, and for 4, 5, 6 weeks we had fresh lettuce in salads, which and herbs. I had a little bit of a herb garden, which mint that we used to chop up and add to the lettuce, to the salad, and it was really amazing. I mean, normally I would go to the supermarket, buy a bag of that mixed lettuce leaves, and you have to eat them within 2 days, otherwise the leaves are going limp and they're just not tasty. Yet in the garden, if you've got the right variety lettuce, you can pick a few of the leaves and mix them up. You have salad every night, every second night, every third night, whenever you decide. At one stage the lettuce were growing so fast we had to have salad every single night just to try and keep ahead of it. Passion fruit, I've got a passion fruit vine that just went absolutely nuts, and I made my first passion fruit concentrate. It was absolutely wonderful. Something that came out of the garden that was natural. No one had sprayed it, no one had done anything. It really, really tasted great. So yeah, fresh produce out your garden, the health benefits speak for themselves. Point number 3, it's environmentally friendly. If you think about the big farms, the procedure that has to go into creating food for billions of people around the world, fertilizers that have been chemically manufactured, those factories push out massive quantities of greenhouse gas, the vehicles to transport the fertilizers, the vehicles to plant the crops, to harvest the crops, to transport the crops back to the market, from the market to the supermarket, the plastics, the cardboards, everything has been produced to package those crops for you. If you're doing it yourself, it comes out your garden, straight onto your kitchen table or into storage. There's no styrofoam punnets that your tomatoes came in that has to get disposed of. I mean, styrofoam and plastic. 90% of the people that I know don't even recycle that stuff. It goes straight into a landfill. So yeah, environmentally friendly, reducing the carbon footprint. That would be point number 3. Point number 4 comes back to point number 3, waste management. Less plastic, less waste. You know, everything that you grow in your garden, you don't throw it away. You don't throw it back in a bin. You throw it back into the garden. Carrot tops, potato. When you harvest the potatoes, the greenery part of the potatoes, those get mulched back into the garden. You end up creating your own compost from the food that you've been eating. And I mean, what better way to recycle and keep something sustainable? So yeah, it's outstanding benefits. And I'm sure I could think of a heck of a lot of more points to cover that. But yeah, and then number 5, the last one, mental health. I find that when I'm in the garden, sometimes I'm barefoot, fiddling around, pulling up weeds, sometimes harvesting, planting. It creates such a relaxing atmosphere, a relaxing mindset. For that time that you're focused on that, you forget about the crap that's going on in the world around us, you forget about the crap that happened yesterday, and you just go out and enjoy the garden. You enjoy watching what you've planted grow. I mean, that is such a satisfying bloody mosquitoes. That is such a satisfying thing to see a seed germinate, become a seedling, get planted out, and become something that you can harvest and eat. So yeah, I really think it's something to look at. At the moment I can't, I'm away from home, so, but I am surrounded by these little buggers, mango trees, and in the other bed over there we've got some sweet potatoes, and yeah, I just, you know, I welcome you guys to join this channel. It's going to have a slow start because we have to first develop our property, but we've got big plans, and I think it's going to be a wonderful journey. So yeah, please subscribe, like the content, and as we begin our journey, it'll be a bit of in the beginning it'll be a bit of a mix match, more prepping the land, the area that we're going to stay on, that land. We have to fence it still. We're going to start building on it. We'll post some of those as we build. We'll post some details there, hacks, little things that we've done to make life just a little simpler. Our off-grid water systems that we've got to build up. We're going to try and be off-grid in terms of power to a degree, and then, yeah, as we progress, we'll hopefully build up a sustainable little living area that has vegetables and chickens, quail. We can't really keep livestock, it's a bit too small for livestock. So in the beginning I doubt there'll be any livestock. But there'll be a circle that runs between the livestock that we do keep and the gardens that we grow. They will feed each other. You know, the waste in the garden will feed the chickens, the chicken waste will feed the gardens. It's things like that that makes me excited. I think it's going to be absolutely freaking awesome. So yeah, thanks for watching. I know it's a bit boring, I've got nothing to show you, but we will get to that, and stay tuned for the next video. Cheers.